Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Anticipation comes to an abrupt end after Russia starts a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The U.S. and international community condemn the attack. We have the latest on the response.
Plus, as the world watches, a Rockford community prays for the safety of Ukraine, the special connection one congregation shares with the nation under attack.
And a local nonprofit that serves Stateline kids celebrates the completion of hundreds of thousands of dollars in renovations. The improvements come with a name change, too.
Good evening. I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. After weeks of rising tensions, Ukraine is now under full attack by Russia. Analysts describe it on a scale Europe hasn't seen since World War II.
Once again today, President Biden announced new sanctions for what he calls an unprovoked and unjustified attack. ABC's Zareen Shaw has the latest developments.
The Russian military launched more than 100 ballistic and cruise missiles into Ukraine last night. President Biden says with that, President Putin declared his war.
Putin's aggression against Ukraine will end up costing Russia dearly, economically and strategically. We will make sure of that.
A senior defense official telling ABC News the president is sending an additional 7,000 troops heading to Germany to reassure NATO allies. President Biden earlier today meeting with his counterparts of the G7, agreeing to move forward on what he calls devastating packages of sanctions and other economic measures to hold Russia to account. This as a minority of the 150,000 Russian troops continue to advance into Ukraine from the east, from Belarus in the north, and from the south in Crimea. Overnight, Russian President Putin declaring the beginning of what he calls a special military operation in Ukraine. Ukrainian officials now reporting Russian troops have reportedly taken full control of the exclusion zone around Chernobyl nuclear power station, including the plant itself. Troops also seizing an airport less than 20 miles away from Ukraine's capital of Kyiv. President Zelensky addressing his people today, saying what we're hearing was the sound of a new Iron Curtain lowering and closing Russia away from the civilized world. He also added that while Ukraine has suffered losses, they are fighting back and have captured some Russian soldiers. Many Ukrainians in several cities are preparing for the uncertainty ahead, lining up to withdraw money from banks and stocking up on gas and other supplies. Western Ukraine and Poland are also bracing for an influx of refugees fleeing the fighting and bombing.
That was Zareen Shaw reporting. In Chicago, Ukrainians hit the streets to protest the invasion and show support for their homeland. Dozens of people demonstrated on the Harlem Avenue Bridge over I-90 this morning. They waved signs blasting Russian President Vladimir Putin. They also called on NATO to defend Ukraine. Drivers honked their horns in support. The Ukrainian community is large in the Chicago area. Some estimate those with ties to the country at around 250,000.
Here in the Forest City, a local church is keeping a close eye on the conflict.
Rachel Perry spoke with the pastor of First Covenant Church of Rockford. And Rachel, First Covenant has a sister church in Ukraine.
That's right, Mimi and Eric. Right now, he tells me they're just doing their best to keep in touch with the pastor there. As tensions grow, though, he says they're prepared to offer any help and assistance that's needed.
Now we're just checking in with our friends. You know, we're trying to communicate. It hasn't been that easy in the last week to communicate with them.
Limited communication and great concerns. Pastor Peter Dibley of First Covenant Church in Rockford is worried for their sister church in Ukraine.
I've only heard back from one, Pastor Eager's daughter, who sent me a message last night saying that there are explosions, nearby. I don't know if that means in Kalinivka, or Kalinivka is about an hour from Kyiv, so I don't know if she's talking about in Kyiv.
Dibley says First Covenant Church is helping their sister church in Kalinivka, Ukraine, where Pastor Igor and his family lives. Pastor Igor also serves as a chaplain for the Ukraine Army. Dibley says he doesn't think the family plans to flee Ukraine.
Pastor Igor volunteered to go into become a chaplain because he believes so much in his country and in caring for those who would protect his country. So I would be surprised if they left.
Ukraine's Minister of Healthcare reports dozens of people have been killed already. And Dibley tells me the possibility that number will grow is his biggest fear right now.
So that's my biggest prayer, is that we can have, a limited amount of human life lost through all of this.
Pastor Dibley asks anyone to keep Ukraine in their thoughts and prayers, while also recognizing the innocent lives in Russia as well. Eric?
Thanks, Rachel. Beyond the human toll, Russia's invasion of Ukraine is having an economic impact as well. In the state line, the most obvious is rising gas prices. Prior to the attack, the standoff already helped oil hit levels we haven't seen since 2014. Some experts are afraid Russia will cut off oil exports to retaliate for the sanctions put in place by the U.S. and European Union. According to Gas Buddy, $4 a gallon gas is most likely in our future, but not right away.
Most states will see prices go up by anywhere from 5 to 10 cents a gallon over the next 1 to 2 weeks. And like I said, that impact may be more significant should the situation continue to escalate in the days ahead.
President Biden pledges to do what he can to keep prices down. That includes dipping into the nation's strategic petroleum reserve.
Most of the state line seen flurries throughout the day, but the snow's starting to pick up.
Some areas could see up to 4 inches of the white stuff. Let's go back over to Candace King in the Weather Center. Candace, how long will the snow stick around?
The good news for us is most of this will be done here during the overnight. So the snow tomorrow morning should be anything but a couple of flurries coming down. Bad news might still be some impacts, though, on the roadways, just with our temperatures that are in the 20s right now and then dropping down into the teens here through the overnight. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we've got that winter weather advisory for all of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. I did notice, though, on the way in this afternoon, where we had some of those very fine snow flurries coming down, there was actually some freezing drizzle mixed in, and that's because we've actually had some dry air work into the mid-levels of the atmosphere here across the region. So that could kind of slicken things up outside of some of the snow coming down. It's not necessarily heavy at the moment, so the impacts on the roads will be there later this evening and then through the overnight. Current checker radar right now shows that drier air kind of eating away at some of that snow here initially. We've had some steadier snow up to the north in Wisconsin and then back out to the northwest. Their visibility dropping down just a bit. I anticipate this dry kind of pocket of air to fill in here over the next couple of hours. You can see the snow coming down here. Our Mercy Skytrack camera out in Freeport, so that visibility falling. Area of low pressure out to the west over Iowa will help fill that in. So notice with Futurecast over the next couple of hours, I think by 7:30, 8 o'clock, we'll start to see a little bit more of that snow. This does stay steady through about midnight. So the good news, this is coming in through the overnight. Bad news, you might still again have some slick spots through tomorrow morning. Temperatures by tomorrow morning will be dropping down into the teens. We'll look at some snow totals. I think generally about 1 to 3 inches coming down with this. Doesn't last though, guys, because we've got to warm up for the weekend. All of that in the full forecast a little later.
Thank you, Candace. Several local communities have declared snow emergencies in anticipation of the storm. Rockford's among them. That one goes into effect at 8 this evening. Odd even parking will be enforced since today's the 24th. That means you'll need to park on the even side of the street. Not following the ordinance could cost you $60. We've posted a list of snow emergencies on mystateline.com.
A local Boys and Girls Club celebrates a grand reopening. A ribbon cutting was held this afternoon in South Beloit. The Door Road facility has undergone nearly $500,000 in renovations. That includes new gym floors and a new upfront counter setup. Crews also replaced the parking lot and made needed mechanical improvements. The building has also been renamed after former unit director Bruce Nichols. Nichols says it's an honor he didn't expect.
Those are things that a common person that does try to do the best he can with the youth would ever have that happen to them, to have something like this named for them. So I'm just so very humbled that people appreciated what I did over all those years.
The Bruce Nichols South Beloit Boys and Girls Club serves about 700 members.
An investment in Rockford students seems to be paying off.
After the break, the promise of a college education has some performing at the top of their class.
Plus, Illinois lawmakers work to solve a critical shortage coming up at 6, a solution that could see retired teachers back in the classroom.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
A record number of Rockford Promise scholars are making waves at Rock Valley College in a very good way.
More than 20 students made the Dean's List or were named to the President's List. Rockford Promise provides scholarships to Rockford Public School students to go to RVC, Rockford University, and NIU. This last fall, 13 of those students made the Dean's Lists, meaning they have at least a 3.25 GPA. 14 were honored with the President's List, a perfect 4.0.
This is the best part of the scholarship, the outcome of them persisting semester to semester and doing well. That leads to graduation. And ultimately, that is the success story behind every scholar that we send to college. We want them all to graduate. So it feels wonderful to see the works of the scholar.
The executive director of the program, who you just heard there, gives credit for this success to the scholars' hard work. She also mentions volunteer mentors who play a big part. They help students with anything from schoolwork to day-to-day problems. Rock Valley College is making sure students know their options when it comes to picking a career.
The Skilled Trades Career Fair let them learn about the different fields open to them. Dozens of booths were set up inside the school today, giving students and employers a chance to meet one another, network, and discuss any potential job or internship opportunities. Devin Funk recently got out of the Army and is looking for his next path.
I'm browsing my options, but there's been definitely a couple that have piqued my interest, like for example UPS has, so that might be one. I just might give it a call and then just try to see where it goes from there.
The job fair was put on by the Workforce Equity Initiative, which provides education opportunities that lead to a skilled trades career. To learn more about that, look for this story on our website, mystateline.com.
More snow is on the way for the state line. In fact, it's falling in many places. Some freezing drizzle might be mixed in there, too.
So how much snow can we expect? Candace says it depends where you live. After the break, she'll time the storm out for us.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, things will get a little messy for us and kind of slick over the next couple of hours with some of that light snow coming down. Not necessarily going to be heavy snow, but it will start to become a little more steady here over the next couple of hours. We actually had some lake effect snow earlier today. More so flurries coming down off of Lake Michigan with that northeasterly wind. Quite impressive to make it this far west here along Interstate 39. We've had some dry air come in. That's why we kind of have a pocket of clearing, so to speak, at least on radar here on our satellite radar. Low pressure system back off to our west, but we know underneath that clear pocket there have been some snow flurries and actually some freezing drizzle coming down. We've had a little more steady snow up to the north from Beloit to Janesville, starting to see that now a little bit further back off to the west, and again that will continue to fill in as that low pressure system over Iowa begins to work closer to us. Visibility coming down now, kind of the worst out in Galena there, northwest Joe Davies County, and then up to the north in Janesville where we have that steady snow. That drier air, the result actually of some dry air in the middle part of the atmosphere. Here's that low pressure system, that upper level low in Iowa. On the south end of that, we've actually been bringing in some of that drier air in the middle part of the atmosphere. So that's why we've had a little bit of freezing drizzle mix in. But as that low pressure system moves closer to us, and I think that'll be about 7, 8 o'clock this evening, we should start to begin to see that fill in a little more on radar, and then you're going to have mostly kind of that steady snow that comes down. As I mentioned before, this isn't anything that's going to be significantly heavy, and the good news really, this is coming during the heart of the overnight. Well, I mean, we are going to see some snow here this evening, so if you are out this evening, just be careful because roads will be slick. Our temperatures are in the 20s here, so that snow will kind of stick once it does start to begin to pick up just a little bit. Most of this is going to be done by the time you head out the door tomorrow. There are likely still going to be a couple of flurries that do linger through the morning, but again, some slick spots will be possible, so especially with our temperatures as they've been below freezing ever since we had some of that freezing rain. What was it, on Tuesday? So that could cause some issues there where maybe we haven't been able to really kind of melt away much of that on more of those back roads, those county roads, and those country roads too. Temperatures down in the teens Friday night, Saturday, but look at this. We'll see sunshine, plenty of it too on Saturday, and our high temperatures will make it just a couple degrees above the freezing mark. So how much snow are we expecting? I think generally about 1 to 3 inches. There might be a couple of spots that get close, maybe that 3, 3.5 inch range, and that's where we get some of that heavier banding set up And that would be something that would occur between about 11 and 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. But overall, about 1 to 3 inches. So not a major event for us, just enough to cause some issues there on the roads. 23 our temperature here in Rockford, 22 in Freeport. That's also what our weather watcher Mike, just north of Forston, is checking in. Also had some snow flurries, kind of in the wind, blowing a little horizontal. Some minor accumulations out there so far. 18, that's where we head for tonight. Winds will stay on the gusty side from the north at about 20 miles per hour, up to 26 for tomorrow afternoon. We'll call it partly sunny. We're back into the 30s for both Saturday and Sunday, and I think, guys, we've got a good shot of reaching the 40s here as we head into early next week.
Yeah, those numbers look great starting with the weekend. Thank you, Candace.
Scott's in next with sports. The Fighting Illini will try for another key win in Big Ten play tonight. Scott has a preview.
And it'll be a big night for local girls basketball teams as they get set to go after sectional championships.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
Every game is vital now for the Fighting Illini as they battle for the Big Ten championship. They have 4 games to play. The next one is tonight against Ohio State. The game will be played at 8 o'clock in Champaign. The Illini and the Buckeyes haven't faced each other yet this season. The last time they played was in the Big Ten tournament last March. The Illini won that game in overtime. The Illini will have to contend with Ohio State forward E.J. Liddell. He's averaging 19.5 points per game. And the Buckeyes are ranked 22nd in the nation. The Illini are coming off a win at Michigan State this past weekend. Here's how tight the Big Ten race is right now. Purdue and Wisconsin are tied for the lead at 13-4. The Illini are a half game behind at 12-4, and then come the Buckeyes at 10-5. After tonight, the Illini will have 3 regular season games remaining. They'll be at Michigan Sunday. They'll host Penn State a week from tonight. Then they'll finish up next Sunday by hosting Iowa. Locally tonight, several girls basketball teams will be going after sectional championships. The marquee game will happen at the Class 2A sectional at Johnsburg High School. Big Northern rivals Winnebago and Byron will play each other. The winner will advance to the Elgin Super Sectional on Monday night. Bago and Byron will play each other, or did play each other, back on January 19th. Winnebago won that game big, 65-43. But Byron has made good strides since that game. I bring you the highlights of this game tonight at 10. Also tonight, Sycamore will play Montini at the Canelan 3A sectional, and in Class 1A at Forston, Stockton will take on Galena. Tomorrow night, boys teams will go after regional championships. David Greenberg and I will have that covered for you tomorrow night at 11 on Overtime on Fox 39. We'll also have a spotlight feature story on Winnebago's Mia Brown. Major League Baseball owners and representatives from the players are still trying to work out a deal. They met again today in Jupiter, Florida. The lockout keeps dragging on, and the month of March is fast approaching. There was no major movement today. At least the 2 sides continue to meet. That's sports. We'll be right back.
This winter has been so light on snow, and now we're finally going to get a little bit.
Well, and even all day long, we did have snow, but it almost. We talked about this yesterday. Well, yeah, and it was kind of like we were in the upside down all day long.
I know.
From
It's
Stranger Things.
Just flurries just coming down. Nothing really accumulating. You saw some of it maybe brush across the roadway here. We're going to see it pick up a little more in intensity as we go through the next couple of hours, but 4.3, I think, is our highest snowfall we've had so far this winter.
That's the most we've got out of a single storm here in Rockford?
4.3 inches of snowfall. Can you believe it?
No.
I can't believe it, but I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Sorry.
Oh boy. All right, moving on. We've got the First Warn interactive radar. That's where you can follow and kind of keep an eye on the snowfall ending by tomorrow morning, but watch for some slip spots.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.